Hey guys, YouTube is doing a great job interpreting their community guidelines. So if you're 18 years or older, you're good to go. Otherwise, please don't watch this.
It's always amazing to talk to new growers, and I am super excited for this brand new grower. Not brand new to the world, no, she's been out there for quite some time, but we haven't talked so far, and here she is. And it is ChitownCannaChica. Do I say that right?
That's how you say it.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for creating great genetics.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for appreciating our genetics, and thank you for growing them, and thank you for sharing all this amazing content with the community. I mean, I think you have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram, and check her out, ChitownCannaChica on Instagram. Those flowers you grow are like, wow.
I can't take the credit. It's everything, all the genetics that I grow, especially my new fast flowering photos. I love those things.
Yeah. Which one did you test so far of those?
I have all 6. I only did Gorilla Cookies, and I did the GG4 times Sherbet.
You did the GG4 Sherbet? Tell me.
That one finished. I could have probably taken it to 7 weeks, but that legitimately finished in 6 weeks. It was amazing.
She is fast. And what do you think about her terps? Because she is my favorite right now. I have to admit, she's my favorite right now.
I agree with that. Definitely you get that sherb funk. You get a little bit of that candy note. And it's just, I grew it because of the GG4. Honestly, you get that sticky resinous quality bud that I really try to get. So it was a really nice plant.
Yeah, I love how fast she was. And what do you think about the nuggets in general? Do you, in terms of coloring and also density? Because that was another thing which really convinced me of her.
Yeah, so that one, the buds were a little bit smaller than the Gorilla Cookies. The Gorilla Cookies, I just had like these big old chunkers, and they were really dense on the Gorilla Cookies. The GG4 Sherb was a little looser than that, but I mean, it was still definitely a photo period. You definitely got that nice quality nug that you're looking for. Deep, average size buds. I mean, not the huge monsters, but I mean, let's be honest, this time of the year, you really don't want that anyways with the mold. And I mean, everything all around it responded great to multi-topping. It responded everything. And then the fade I got on it was just beautiful. I got that beautiful purplish fade. So
yeah, in the last 2 weeks, that comes in there. I have that for quite a few of the Gorilla strains, also on the auto ones. Can you tell me a little bit more about how the grow of the GG4 Sherbet went?
I mean, yeah, it went as planned perfectly. I vegged it for 6-7 weeks. I topped it twice, so I had 4 mains, and basically just flipped it to flower under an HLG 750 light, top line light, made everything go real quick. And I was stunned because I flipped it at the same exact time when I flipped just some conventional photo periods. And just to see, like, I mean, literally, not even exaggeration, where they were in week 1, it was like this thing was already in like week 3 of what a photo period would have been. So it was almost like 3 times faster. So like after the first week, I was like, wow. I mean, you couldn't even tell the regular photo was flower, and this thing was already just cranking. I mean, I took it down in week 6, and I probably could have maybe went 7 a little bit, just if I really wanted something really ripe. But I mean, it was on point. It was sticky. It was dense. I mean, I've got some really nice pictures of that thing. It was a really nice plant. I wish I just did more. I wish I did all 6 of them. I should have did all 6.
Did you grow autos as well?
I do, but not as much as I do photos, just because of space constraints. I like to grow autos and DWC in the winter to help up my my humidity.
That's a smart trick. So what kind of setup are you growing? And you're growing in a tent, or do you have a dedicated room for the grow?
Both. So I have it's legal here in Illinois. I have a tent in my basement in a room. So about a 13 by 6 foot room. And then I have a separate tent just for the flower area. So, and the veg area is obviously bigger. That's where I put all my autos. That's where I veg everything. And then the dark, it goes into the tent at night. So.
And you said you were in Illinois, obviously. Chi-town, you're coming from the Chicago area, I assume, no?
Yeah. Yes.
What was it for you? For how long have you been growing? Was it like for so many people, like, we are going legal, I am allowed to grow, and like, let's go?
It wasn't exactly quite like that. So it's a little bit of a different story. My father is a hardworking man, a cannabis user his entire life. And during COVID, he got in a fight with his guy who would supply him for pretty much for his whole adult life from Michigan, where they had caregivers, they call them there. So they're allowed to grow a ton of weed in Michigan. So during COVID, the guy's like, I'm not coming over, blah, blah, blah. And so then my dad's asking his 30-year-old kids to go find weed for him, like we were back in high school, like, hey guys, can you give me weed? Could I, so you're like calling all your friends, buying weed from people. And it was one of those things like, this can't be that hard, How hard could this really be? So then you go online, and I watched all the beginner buds videos. They used all the Fast Buds products. So that's where I got some Fast Buds right off the bat from Europe. It took a long time to get here during COVID. And then I just popped some seeds and let her rip. And that's how I got started.
Oh, so you started with Fast Buds. What was your first strain?
California Snow.
Oh, she is a frosty one, and she is a frosty one. And for everybody else in the US right now, you don't have to worry about those long shipping times anymore, because now we have beans available. Just check our website, or I can tell you. I always have to do the silliness because they don't like us talking about this on social media, unfortunately. But I think you all know what I'm talking about. Just check out our website.
Yeah.
So you're a medical grower. You really started because you wanted to have medicine for your father.
Correct. Yeah. So I went and got my card, saw a doctor, all that fun stuff, paid the state of Illinois their ransom fee, and started growing.
Cool. I really appreciate that. I don't know if you know Chubbs or if you heard of Chubbs. He does that for his son. His son has epilepsy. He does it in California, and for some time he even had to take him out of schools to give him his medicine and bring him back to school and so on. And you really, the doctors now say with him they can't even cause any, even if they want to, they can't cause any more seizures because the cannabis is working so well. And so every time somebody really grows, no matter if it's a family member or a friend or so, for medical reasons, I really have to thank you even double, because you're not only doing this to free this amazing plant, but you're also doing it to help other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, don't even get me off of my tangent about the government and what they're doing, hiding.
I am 100% there with you, and that's not just one government. They're like all in bed with each other. I always say the worst thing is, like, you have so many very harmful industries still around, and they all can do more or less whatever they want to do because they have lobbies and so on. We don't have this for cannabis. That's why we're doing it here. We're sticking out here, and we're trying to fight together. I thank you for showing face for the plant. I thank you for growing for your father. What do you think, not only the legal aspect, I think there's also like a stigma on cannabis, which is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely there is. Still to this day, whether you live in a legal state or not, many companies make you go get a drug test prior for employment, and they will hold that against you, whether you have a doctor's note, whether you have anything to show and prove you have a medical card, they'll still discriminate against you because of their insurance. I mean, there's a huge stigma. I mean, police officers, like, they'll use it themselves, but they'll still arrest you for it, whether it's legal or not. Like, it's a horrible thing that we have to deal with. And I don't think, I mean, even if someone grows weed, like, they just think you're like some loser, junkie, whatever. And it's like people don't even know.
Yeah, it's for me, even with family members. By now, they accept me more. I make my money with this industry. They know I'm normal. They know I'm not always like, I don't get my shit together, just because I'm a consumer. But still, they still sometimes hear left and right like a sharp note on something, like my mom was flying back home, so my dad told me it probably took so long at the security because she was smelling like weed. And it's like a silly side note, but it's still like, unnecessary, Oh,
totally. I mean, my mother knows exactly what I'm doing, who I'm doing it for. She'll come over to my house and be like, your house smells like fucking weed. And I'm like, lady, you know what I'm doing. You know we're going to your house right after this.
This is hilarious. I love it. Again, I can't thank you too much, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Tell me though, what's your favorite fastbud strain so far?
So far, I have to say, Purple Lemonade. I think that was my favorite, just because it was just such a rich purple. And the terps were great. That was probably my favorite.
It's crazy how purple she is and how limonene dominant she is, no?
Yeah. That was probably my favorite, and I barely documented it. It was just such a rich purple.
Try the fast flowering one. She is really great as well. Really amazing.
I gotta get to it.
Yeah. Do you have like a bunch of beans at home and you never know, like, I have too many beans. I wish I have too much space, more space. No?
Well, that's exactly it. I'm a seed buying addict, and I'm ashamed to admit my seed collection is probably worth $10,000.
Yeah, I feel you. Mine is as well. Okay, I'm working for a breeding company, but it's not just that. It's like you want them all. You just like, I feel like we're all preparing for the worst case. Like, you know, one day the world comes to an Armageddon or something, and we just cannot get any more beans. So we just run out of our house with our seed collection. Everything else is left behind.
Is that, I don't know, in Europe, do they have, the lottery scratchers where you scratch them off and you can win some money?
Yeah, of course.
So like that's the way I look at growing beans. Like, I barely do anything from clone just because I have so many seeds. And I feel like maybe like 1 out of every like 5 or 10 will be like the $500 winner. So that's why I like seed growing, just because I feel like it's playing the lottery.
Yeah, it's fun, and you do get your I think Cortes the Conqueror, who is in the south side, right close to you. He is also a great member of this community. He switched to cloning, but he said he still grows, when we send him some testers, or like now the photoperiodic, he's gonna test them, and he's searching for that unicorn. And sometimes you find him, and I just bred one of our genetics, one of Fastbud's genetics with a landrace, and then I threw a bunch of beans in, and just out of random, I have one in terms of terps. She's only in flowering week 2 or 3, and the terps are like Skittles quadrupled, kind of. Plus, the pistils are turning lilac right now. Like in week 3, the pistils are turning that way. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a cutting right now, Chuck. And like, just need to clone, need to be able to keep a mother of her, and then
It's exciting. It's exciting.
It is exciting stuff, and to see the development of a plant is just always like, wow, this is really amazing.
And the variations, and then the similarities, and this, even like the responses, you can have 5 strains growing in your room at one time, and 3 will be on point, and 1 just acts like a jerk, and you're like, what's going on? Is it my light? Treat them all the same.
I know exactly what you mean, and that is interesting. You should check him out, Chubbs, on Grow Diaries. He's really cool, and he really always grows. He grows almost exclusively Fastbuds. He grows them all the testers, everything, and he always never grows just one plant. He always grows 2 as comparison, so he really knows how stable is him and what can I expect in the next grow. I really appreciate that kind of analytical growing. I wish I could do that more myself for my private grows.
I have the space, I have the equipment, I just don't have the electric bill money.
Yeah, I feel
That's
you.
all.
I feel you. Yeah, it's crazy, especially it's getting more and more and more. I thank you so much for everything. Thanks for sharing. I hope you come back. It's really nice. It's always a surprise to talk to somebody the first time, and I must say this was amazing. Thanks so much to ChitownCannaChica, and don't forget, it's 420 somewhere.
That's right.
Thanks to ChitownCannaChica.
Fastbuds.